It's Persona time! Hello and welcome to another figure review. Today we're going to have a look at the Figma number 433. It's Futaba Sakura from Persona 5. Persona 5, the animation is the logo on the box, but it is Persona 5. Character always looks the same, and I'm actually a big fan of the entire cast of Persona 5. It's still one of my favorite games of all time. I only played it like a couple of months ago, but yeah. It has great designs, and I'm really happy that Figma is continuing the line, so let's have a look. I'm also a big fan of the punk rock look in general of the character, so let's have a look. She stands at about 13 centimeters to the top of her head, which means we're going up to 5.1 inches tall. Look in detail of the figure. Now this one's weird. I had a look at it, and first and foremost, face sculpt is very nicely done. You got the glasses, which are attached to the front part of the hair. If I can get this off. So if you want her without glasses, I think there might be a way to slide this out, but it's not really an intentional feature. But if you're a fan of that, you can do it. Just to let me have a look at the face without the glasses. Looks very nice, looks very accurate to the show, to the anime, to the games. Then you got the headphones. Has a tiny bit of bleeding on the gray, not the worst part in the world. Also, you can move the headphones up and down a little bit. In the back, and that's where the engineering stuff starts. I like how the hair is molded. I don't like the articulation part. I don't like that they just kind of made this plump hinge over there. Usually they round it off so it looks a little bit cleaner. This just doesn't look good from the back. Now, of course, you usually won't look at it from the back, but I'm just saying. It's a weird choice, and we have more of those. Then we got, once more, a little bit of bleeding on the black that goes side to side as her face falls off. Let me get that to the side. Well, yeah, there's just tiny bits of bleeding also in the white on the shoulder parts of her jacket. Same for the gray. It's mostly clean. It's nothing really to get upset about. The jacket is just green plastic. But actually what I want to talk about, the engineering, is I don't agree with the way they made the jacket. It's weird. So, as you can tell, as soon as I lift her arms up, there's a big gap on both sides. Also, there's a little bit of paint issue on this one. We got more bleeding, and we got just something over there which doesn't look right. Looks like some leftover plastic. And it doesn't really cover it up nicely. They got like the skin tone, and they put white over it, and it's still like bright skin tone, so I don't really know how that doesn't function. But anyway, back to the jacket itself. Obviously, as I'm saying, this looks weird. You have joints in the jacket to move it up, but it will always be somewhat wonky. Also, in the back part, you don't have a middle piece, so it will not cover up anything, and it will just look like she has a cut-up jacket, even from the front. So, yeah, about that, I don't really know. Now, for the rest of the detail of the figure, hands, there's not really any more detail in the jacket. You got the logo on the shirt, just a white shirt, white plastic, is soft-ish, so you can lift it up. Then you got the pants under there, hot pants, the gray ringlets are nicely painted. I don't really have a big issue. Some of them have a couple of holes, but these are very small, so that's something I can forgive. Then you have a butt, and down to the stockings and her punk rock boots, which look amazing. Nicely molded, nicely painted. Same thing with the ringlets. It's mostly clean. Some small slips here and there, but forgivable ones because of the nature of how tiny it is. I'm okay with it. So there you got the entire look of the figure. Now for your articulation, I'm going to start off with the hair. I mean, I've already showed you the hinge, so that goes up as far as this. Then the headphones, you can move those up, move those down, that's about it. Can't really pull them much further than that unless you heat them up maybe a little bit. Can experiment with it, but they will never go up all the way, I feel like. Then the head articulation, you got a ball hinge that goes into another ball joint in the hair itself. That does tilt side to side, does pretty much go all the way around. I need to be careful not to break this off. This is soft plastic, so it will bend out of the way. Let me actually take it off for this. Goes all the way around. Head moves forward, head moves to the back. Pretty good. Then you got the double ball combination in the shoulder joint. You got one ball hinge on the show itself, and another ball joint that goes into the chest area, although this one doesn't really have that much room, so it does just wiggle back and forth. The hinge moves it up nicely, and do we have a bicep swivel? No, not really. I mean, you can rotate it around on the ball joint, so that's kind of makes up for that. Ball hinge in the jacket, in the shoulder, which is pretty much blocked by the mold, but if they would have carved out more space, it would have looked more wonky. So it's kind of limited in that regard. Then you got the hands on a ball hinge, back, forward, rotation. Chest area does move forward a little bit, but it's the classic problem of they made this part soft and there's a joint under there, but as you can tell, it's being pulled back by all the plastic that's just draped over it. Doesn't really tilt side to side, doesn't really rotate around because of that. Hip articulation moves left and right, has some rotation in it, moves nicely with the shirt. Then for the legs, move forward, move to the back, move out to the side on ball joints, can be rotated around. And you can actually see the ball joint, they just kind of draped the leg parts of the hot pants over it. And the belt is soft plastic, so that will not get into the way. Got a thigh swivel on the stockings, which is just super stiff, so I would be careful with that, not to break it off. Probably heat it up a little bit if you really want to twist it a lot more. Then you got the ball hinge in the knee and another ball hinge at the foot. Go side to side, forward, to the back, and we don't have a toe joint on this one. It actually goes a lot forward, and it looks nice. For your accessories, gonna start off with this weird head, which she used to disguise her, well, disguise, just to not see her face. And this one is fairly nicely done. I mean, the mold is great. I only have basically one slip up in the hair over here. It's not the worst thing in the world. For the rest of it, it looks clean. It is on a ball hinge, so you will just replace this with the regular head and it will stay on there nice and fitting. And then you got the regular faces. You got one like kind of angry, stern looking face and one smiling face. Nice detail on it. For your hand parts, pointy finger, 2 holding hands, 2 fist hands, and 2 more holding hands. Well, this is more like, I guess it's for the phone. Or is this one for the phone? What else is there to hold? Nothing. And then you got 1 open hand, which is weird. Just, wow. Kind of folded, whatever. Then you got 2 more jacket pieces, which is basically there to replace the other jacket arms. And so you can pose her with 1 hand or both hands in her pocket. And finally, tiny lime green phone. Doesn't have any detail on it, which is a little bit disappointing. Just black in the front. So there you got that. And finally, as usual with all your Figmas, you got the Figma base and the Figma back. So anyway, before I want to go to the final thoughts, there's a couple of things I noticed. First and foremost, the jacket part in the middle is on a small ball pack, so you can bring that a little bit around, line it up correctly. Also, shoulder joints, they are packed in, but it's a ball pack in the lower part. I don't really know what that accomplishes. Has a little bit of wiggle motion, but yeah, it's just weird. Also, the neck, you can pull this out in a weird angle or push it back down. That just doesn't look right. Because of the nature of the ball hinge and the ball pack in the neck, you can pretty much adjust the head height. Bringing us to the final thoughts, and this is really a weird one. As usual, we have minor quality control issues. I say minor, it's just really just paint bleeding here and there. But then you look at it and you're thinking that there's not that much paint to begin with, so they couldn't really screw up that much, and they still did. The posability of the figure is kind of hindered by the jacket, and I don't really know what they did there. As for the rest of it, the mold is nice, the accessories are cool, I like the extra head, but there's really not that much else that she's coming with. So overall, I think this is still a pretty solid figure for Persona fans. Everybody else who doesn't care about Persona, doesn't care about this design, I think this is an easy skip. But still, the figure is, yeah, I'd say above average really on this one. I don't know. Could be better, could be worse. There you go. That's gonna do it, guys. As usual, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget, if you enjoyed this review, hit it up with a like and subscribe to the channel so you can stay tuned for more figure reviews, card game stuff, and whatever Futaba wants. Like, I don't know, some stuff. Quality control.